Welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you here from Westlake Village, California. It is November 21st, and it is 4 days till Christmas. Wishing you a blessed, happy little holiday season. And today we've got some very important things to talk about. Bitcoin is moving, this whole market is moving, and even traditional markets are getting a bit of a bounce. And call it Turnaround Tuesday, as all the professionals probably taking the rest of the year off. So the retailers do have a chance to come in and drive this market. And in about 5 minutes, you're going to know whether we are macro, bullish, or bearish on Bitcoin. We cover the short-term price action over the next 1 to 4 hours, medium-term price action over the next 1 to 5 days, and our higher-term time frames like over the next few weeks and months. And yes, so Bitcoin, we do have some very interesting things to talk about here on the 4-hour chart for CMEs. And what do we have here is a little breakout of our descending triangle. And some would consider this a breakout, right? Breakout right here, and with a measure move, right, from the, and look how these like to break right at about 75% full. And I do admit that was a bit of a fake out yesterday on low volume. So let's see if this is a fake out today. And that's why you want to wait for confirmation typically. And confirmation would be a 4-hour closure on the CMEs above 49,400. Some more aggressive traders will already take that trade, and with a measure move of about 52,000 right there, or 52,055, and probably continuation to our 54,500 target, our last breakdown. So that's very interesting. And what I would say is, you know, again, if we look at this on a daily, we've got some very important things going on as well. And I would say any kind of a daily closure above, call it 48,000, and that will confirm what we have here is 1, 2, 3 drives of bullish divergence on the daily. And that's where price is making lower lows, but RSI is making higher lows. So 1, 2, 3 drives of bullish divergence, and that gives us a target up to the 21, which is at 51,500, and that would definitely fulfill the short-term time frame resolution of the range at 49,500. And again, I believe that will all beget continuation up to 54,500 on the CMEs. And then we play the game of, is it a lower high or not? So another point of confluence I do want to bring up here is on the daily time frame. As we've been pointing out, we got Stokes crossing up from the critical zone here. And we have noted that anytime Stokes have crossed up on CMEs coming from the 11 percentile region, well, we've just seen some major bounces in Bitcoin's history. And the last time we got down to an 11 percentile here was March of 2020. And when was that? Well, that put in a bounce at 4,200, and this preceded a rally up to 9,900, which continued up to about 57,000 bucks. So we do like a cross up in our momentum indicator from this area. That's very, very good. And then we want to see volatility start to increase, and we did just regain the exponential, so that's good. And then, yeah, we want to see momentum continue onwards and upwards. So another thing we want to look at here is our spot price action. We did have the same descending triangle and a breakout. And so any kind of a test down, you know, to this base, and that's actually what you do want to see, is a good test down on the 9 exponential and then continuation. And the measure move on this is at 51,750. And again, these like to break at about 75%. Noticing there, so spot price pretty much held it up while CME did a little bit of a fake out. What else I want to bring up to us today is the 5-day closure, which is coming up today in about 7 hours and 5 minutes. And what do we have on the 5-day? I'm just going to get some of these tools off here. So on the 5 days, as long as we're closing above the green 55 here, we're maintaining the higher low structures, and I would expect higher highs and trend continuation. And if we can confirm, this would be our next point of confluence over the next 24 to 48 hours. And what do we have here? On the 5-day, we're going to have 3 drives of bullish divergence. And again, that is price making lower lows. Well, price is making higher lows. RSI is making lower lows. And sorry, do we have that? Yes. So here is a lower low, right? And it goes all the way back to here. And these are higher lows. So price is making higher lows. So how would we get a confirmation of this bullish divergence coming all the way back from here, which is massive? So it would be a closure today anywhere above the green 55, and then a tick tomorrow or the next 5 days above today's high, whatever that is. And that will gun us a move at least to the top side of the range of 57,150 in my opinion. Again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. That'd probably happen over the next 5 days. And very likely, again, this is almost like the weekly trend. So any kind of a 5-day closure below 42,000 is going to look very nasty for a downside move to about 30,050 bucks, in my opinion. What else I want to bring up here today is our underlying market dynamics, starting out with the fear and greed index. And we have been looking at this over the past few weeks. And where are we coming in right now? It's at about a 27. And we did say we want to be in the fearful zone over the next few weeks before we put in a macro low. So that's lining up nice. And I would say we are closer to putting in a low than we are to putting in a top. We have open interest ticking up slightly, which is coming in at 11.8 billion. So up almost a billion over the past few days. And then you had the global leverage ratio at 0.2%. So up about, that's up a 10% increase in leverage over the past few days. And then we have coins that continue to come off of exchanges. I don't know, maybe some people are buying gifts for the holiday season. I did see this little Bitcoin holiday gift card. All you had to do is give them the gift card, and then they follow the instructions, and it gives them free Bitcoin. And so really, I think all these underlying market dynamics lines up more for a bounce sooner than later than not in my book. However, I want to do, so that's Bitcoin dominance here, and we are postulating a macro low coming in here. So if Bitcoin dominance does bounce here, that aligns with Bitcoin's price going up. Maybe not so good for altcoins, but the stronger altcoins tend to survive, tend to outperform Bitcoin. Okay, so bringing that up here, we do have Ethereum, and I'll start it off on Ethereum on the daily. And what are we having here? The etchings of another higher low on the daily. And how would we confirm a higher low today? Any kind of a daily closure above 39,740, and that would confirm another higher low. And what does that mean for bullish divergence? The same thing we have on Bitcoin. We have 1, 2, 3 drives of higher lows, while RSI is putting in lower lows. Excuse me. Yeah, so it's, again, 1, 2, 3. RSI is making higher lows, and price is making lower lows. So that'll be confirmed, and that will target us a move to at least the top side of the range, which some would argue is going to be here at 41,250. And that's what we are really waiting for, is a daily closure above 41,003. Sorry, I keep saying 41,000. It's 4,130. So forgive me there. Any kind of a daily closure back above 41,000. There you did it, 4130, and I am looking for the measure move to get hit at 4620. Okay, and there is an implied target of, I believe, 4,900 over time. Let's go ahead and measure this move out, and I may have redrew these lines here. Yeah, that's a little more accurate. So what do we want? 3 points, make a trend, right? So that's really the trend right there, and it looks like it is breaking to the upside right now as we speak. So what we do want to see is volume come in. we want to see Stokes cross up, and I do believe Stokes will cross up with any kind of a daily closure back above 4,100, and that would be our momentum indicator. And then we want to see volatility start to expand. Right now it is contracting, which does line up for a little bit more of a sideways action. Maybe we don't get the move today. That is on our daily time frame. However, what is our lower term time frame starting to say here? And so volatility increasing as we're breaking the range, bouncing off the 21 on the 2 hour. And could this get us a little bounce up to our range high where we want to get at 4150? Volatility increasing, Stokes beginning to cross down. They haven't crossed down below the 80 percentile yet. So, you know, could we twist up here? That just means trend in motion typically. So as long as the hourly is holding above 3770, I'm saying, or even you know, more aggressively, we'd say 3870. And I would say trend in motion and onwards and upwards. Let's giddy up and go here for Ethereum. Now, again, you know, good to have an invalidation point on the other side. How much are you willing on each trade to risk? Are you in a short-term outlook? Are you more macro trading, looking at, you know, trading maybe a couple times a year? Everybody's got a different strategy. So how are we looking at Ethereum on the macro outlook? Very similarly to Bitcoin, as long as we're maintaining higher lows and higher highs on a weekly time frame, then we're going to expect another 6 months of sideways and up. So where is Ethereum's last lower low on a weekly? All the way down at $3,000. We're at $4,000. So as long as we are closing above 3,000, really, I am looking for another 6 to 12 months of sideways and up. And I do like the cross here between the 9 and the 21, and then a test of the 9. And typically that's your first buy. And then with any kind of a closure above 40,650, I'm looking for a move up to 4150. And that would be even on an hourly time frame. You know, the hourly probably gets it here. And yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our next little cryptocurrency. So again, just wrapping it up on Ethereum on a daily. So above 4,200 right here at this level, or call it even 4,130. I'm ready to get bullish on a daily time frame. I'm looking for a little bit of reversal and a trade up to the highs of 4,600. Now below 3750, which is going to be right about this region right here. Any kind of a 4-hour closure below 3750, that's going to look bad. And I'm targeting to move down to 3,300 or 3,400 on, and that could be on a 4-hour, more aggressive trader on a 2-hour. Okay, and so last thing I want to check in, or a few other things I want to check in, is our Ethereum Bitcoin chart, which on a daily, we're bouncing off the yellow 21. That's good. We do kind of want to see this bounce at this point. Otherwise, that's going to start to look like a lower high. How's the weekly shaping up here? And weekly is okay. That is a test of the 9 after a macro breakout. And I would say as long as we're closing 5 days and weeklies above 0.77 million Satoshis, then I'm expecting the move to continue onwards and upwards to about 9 million Satoshis and continuation from there. And why is this important to note? When Ethereum Bitcoin is bullish, and this is a macro breakout, you know, we broke the range, the breakdown high right here, and we almost broke this high right there. We're grinding up against it. We got a measure move on this ascending triangle, which is going to put us, at that 9 million Satoshi mark, which is going to likely beget continuation up to the next range high there. So that's looking macro bullish. What else I want to take a look at? Some of our altcoins that, you know, are kind of generally leading this market, and we've been talking about MATIC on this ascending triangle on the weekly for some time now, which has a measure move pointed up to about $2.70. And as long as we are closing above the topside Bollinger Band on a weekly time frame, I'm expecting that target to get hit. and likely actually, you know, if you want to look at this from this high to this low and use a fib retracement, that would give you a measure move up to about 3.7 and a pullback and continuation onto about 390. And that would be if Bitcoin wants to pick itself up and the rest of this market wants to keep on going and chugging along, and we get more of the same and more of the same, which is trend continuation by definition, right? Higher lows and higher highs. And that's why, you know, I suspect we get more of the same from Jerome Powell, right? We just reelected him. He had some pressures, probably from Biden, that said, hey, look, inflation is heating up. We've got midterm elections coming up. What can you do to fight inflation a little bit? So, you know, a little pressure was on Mr. Powell, but, you know, when the, what's the old saying? You know, somebody's always got to pay the piper. And when it's time, you know, we'll really see what Powell has to say then, okay? And what the market has to say, more importantly, because the market dictates what Powell does, right? If the stock market dumps, don't think for a second he's not going to come in with emergency bailout, liquidity money. The emergency plunge protection team will come out to save the day. And that's that's the same trend, right? All right, so Luna on the daily and any kind of a daily closure above 240. And MATIC on the daily, any kind of a daily closure above 240, and that is going to give us a measure move up to about 279. And again, I think that comes in line with a bounce in Bitcoin and, you know, proceedeth continuation up to our next fib target. Typically, this is the first sell with a pullback, and then, you know, that's pretty much where the target gets hit, and often people like to take some profits off the table, and that would be nice for a little macro breakout. But what is it saying here on a 4-hour? It does look like we're getting a little hot, so I'd be completely fine with a test back down to 224 and invalidation, any kind of a 4-hour closure back below $2.08, and I'd say this move is over or more or less cooked. But right now I do like trend momentum and volatility all in the 4-hour turning up. Let's see, on a 1-hour, nope, Stokes are crossing down, volatility consolidating. What about on the 30-minute? Looks like it does want to maybe pick itself up here. Again, volatility is coming down, and we're bouncing off the yellow 21. That's, again, retested the base, and I would say as long as we are marching it on up here and Bitcoin is staying healthy, and that's going to bode well for some of the stronger altcoins just over the next few months. Did we talk about Ethereum, US dollar? Yes, we did. Okay, let's go back to another one of our favorites here, and that is symbol AVAX, Avalanche, right, which is consolidating, breaking out against the prior highs there. And what I say on Avalanche here is as long as we are closing 4 hours above $1.02, I'd say trend continuation. This is a nice buy off the green 55 on the 4-hour. And then on the daily, we've got a cross up. And as long as the daily is holding above 107, this is going to look very healthy for continuation to the upside. And where would I get invalidated here real quick on this move? So we got higher lows and higher highs on the 4-hour. Yeah. So as long as we maintain the trend on the 4-hour, I would expect the test of the highs at least here in the short term. And then let's check in on NASDAQ. And what is NASDAQ doing? Playing out a bit of a bounce here, and that is exactly what we want to see, is a tick above there, and I would expect a move at least to 1593. S&P is probably holding it up a little better, maintaining higher lows on the daily. And so basically what we want to see is NASDAQ and S&P go up and bounce here, and we want to see dollar go down. Dollar is consolidating on a daily time frame, so dollar, daily closure below 95.50, good. for the markets in general, in my opinion. Dollar above 96.84, not too good for the markets. So, wrapping it up here on Bitcoin really quick. So any kind of a daily closure back above 49,300 or call it 49,400, that's going to be good for a move at least to the top side of the range, probably around 53 to 54,000. Any kind of a daily below 46,000, and I am looking for a move at least down to fill out the lows like we had been talking about. But right now it's more upside posturing, more bouncy activity in line with what I'm looking at. And that is for Bitcoin. And then I'll finish it off with Ethereum here. So Ethereum, how would we, really what we're waiting for is a daily closure above 41.55. And that'll give us a continuation move to 4,600 with likely continuation to new all-time highs. And then to the downside, we are looking Ethereum anywhere below daily closure below 30, call it 3,800, and that's going to get us the move likely down to our blue box territory at about 34 to 3,300. Okay, that's it for today, guys. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you soon. Take care.